So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 40 discussion of怪獣8号, or Monster Number 8. So Chapter 40 came out about 5 days ago, and as always I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, yeah, go take a look at it. Okay, so Chapter 40 starts off exactly where Chapter 39 left off. If you remember, we ended with the battle where the monsters came to attack and Division 1 went to take care of them, and it was at that time that Shinomiya and us readers for the first time found out just how powerful the Division 1 leader was. And unlike his character when he's off battle, he is extremely competent in the battlefield. But Chapter 40 is actually, as much as it is a continuation from Chapter 39, it's kind of part of this whole transition that's going on in the story. As you know, there's a huge change that's going in the story's plot, and characters are being moved around. And of course, the last thing we know about Kafka is that he was being interrogated by the JDF, and somehow he was able to win Commander Shinomiya's trust. And so where are we going with this? Well, we find out in Chapter 40. And so Chapter 40 starts off where we're back in the headquarters of the JDF again. And Narumi has reverted back to his geeky self again. And he is extremely upset reading the newspaper and finding the article where the monster battle that he led is kind of downplayed by an article about Commander Mina. He's freaking out and getting seriously upset, going, why is she getting all the limelight when he was the one that took the battle? Well, although Narumi is the most powerful leader in the JDF, Mina is the most popular. And so considering that she is the idol and the symbol of the JDF, she gets a lot of the spotlight, and that is pissing off Commander Narumi. And we get this kind of comedic situation where he's like, oh, maybe I should quit, maybe I should stop doing all of this. And the interaction that we see between Eiji and Narumi is hilarious. You know, it's one of those straight guy versus the comedic guy sort of situation. But in this case, the comedic guy is actually very competent. It's Narumi, and the vice commander Eiji is the straight guy. And the interaction is just seriously funny. But also, more importantly, in this chapter we find out what's happening with Kafka. And what we find out is that Hikaru's father, Commander Shinomiya, has been planning this dream team for the JDF, where he combines all of the powerful members into one division. So the strongest leader, Narumi, the strongest vice leader, Eiji, the strongest team, Division 1, the strongest rookie, Hikaru Shinomiya, and of course the strongest monster-human hybrid, Kafka Hibino. And so by doing so, he's trying to create a new style of team that can take on the new types of threats that are coming from the monsters. Now, interestingly enough, Commander Narumi is not having any of this. And he tells Commander Shinomiya directly, and then he turns to Kafka and says, you know, you're probably more useful dead and turned into a battlesuit than you are alive. Which of course hits Kafka Hibino pretty hard. But for Kafka, this is an opportunity to further go down towards his objective, which of course is to eventually get to the levels where he can support Commander Mina. And so he basically tells Commander Narumi that he will be under his care, and he will be looking forward to working for Commander Narumi in the battlefield. And of course Narumi takes this with somewhat of cynicism and says, well, he is not about to accept any laggards, and he will see just how Kafka does in the battlefield. And so this does transition the story well from the original Division 3 team that Kafka was in to the next level, which is Division 1. And it'll be interesting to see how Kafka has to reacclimate himself into this new, much more powerful team. But the other thing that, of course, this brings up is what happens to the rest of Division 3 that has kind of been broken up. We kind of know that Leno has kind of gone to a different group, but what happens to everybody else? What happens to Commander Nina? Will she be leading a much smaller team? Or because Division 3's headquarters was destroyed by Monster Number 10, will she be moving to a different team as well? It'll be interesting to see what happened to everybody else. But we are seeing this major transition go. Maybe a few more stories to kind of close out this part before the main battle begins. We'll see. But in any case, this is moving in a very interesting direction, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. And when Chapter 41 comes out, I will put up another video. I hope you join me at that time. Until then, thank you very much for listening, and Jaya, nice day, everyone.